The bridge of the Imperial dreadnought Eternal Radiance hummed with the quiet confidence of a species that had ruled the stars for 10,000 years. The galactic empire of Threxia had faced countless rebellions, crushed hundreds of upstart civilizations, and forged order out of chaos. To its admirals and senators alike, another skirmish with yet another emerging species was little more than housekeeping. Yet there was unease today. The name of the enemy whispered across the command deck with something approaching superstition. Humans. Admiral Karthos, clad in the shining obsidian armor of his station, scoffed as he reviewed the tactical display. Pathetic, he muttered. Barely 2 centuries since they discovered faster-than-light travel, and they presumed to challenge the Empire. This will be quick. But deep in his second heart, a redundant organ evolved to survive battlefield trauma, something twisted uncomfortably. Reports had trickled in from frontier fleets. Reports that didn't make sense. Entire patrols erased, colonies destroyed by small, agile strike forces. And strangest of all, humans had won every single ground battle even when outnumbered 5-1. The Emperor himself had demanded results. So here, on the contested world of Helios Prime, the might of the Empire would prove itself once again. Over 300 Imperial warships arrayed in orbit, bristling with weapons that could vaporize continents. Against them, only a scattering of human ships, no more than 20 cruisers and escorts, ragged and patched, barely worthy of the name fleet. Karthos sneered. This will not be a battle. This will be an execution. The humans arrived. The Imperial fleet formed into precise geometric lines, a display as much ceremonial as tactical. Discipline, order, inevitability, that was the Imperial way. The humans arrived differently. Their ships tumbled out of hyperspace like brawlers staggering into a tavern fight, out of formation, half-shielded, some visibly scarred from earlier battles. Yet there was something unnerving about the way they moved. Each ship adjusted instantly, reacting, probing, as though every captain trusted their crew absolutely. No wasted movements, no hesitation. On the ISS Resolute, Commodore Sarah Vance stood tall at her command chair. She was outnumbered 15-1, and she knew it, but her eyes shone with the same fire that had carried humanity through endless wars back on Earth. Transmit to all ships, she ordered. You know the drill. We've danced with worse odds before. Remember, adapt, strike, endure. Humanity doesn't break. Her fleet responded not with formal acknowledgments, but with grins, jokes, and the kind of grim laughter that unsettled their enemies more than silence ever could. Clash in the void. The first volley was Imperial, of course. Beams of stellar fire ripped across the void, calculated to erase the tiny human fleet in a single glorious barrage. But the humans didn't hold still like good little targets. They swarmed. Each cruiser darted unpredictably, breaking all conventional patterns as though chaos itself had learned to fly. A destroyer pretended to stall, luring 3 Imperial frigates into range, then detonated in a controlled overload, taking them all out in the blast. Another human ship disappeared into the shadow of an asteroid, only to ambush a battleship from behind, stabbing its engines with kinetic spears. Admiral Karthos slammed a clawed fist onto the console. Impossible. They're sacrificing ships deliberately? That's barbaric. But it worked. For every human vessel destroyed, 5 Imperial ships went dark, and the humans learned. Every new tactic the Empire deployed, every formation they attempted was countered within minutes. As though each human captain shared a single mind, evolving faster than Imperial computers could model. On the ground, Helios Prime's surface burned. Imperial legions, bred and armored for war, had descended to crush human resistance. The Empire prided itself on discipline, lines of soldiers marching in lockstep, armored behemoths leveling cities with precision fire. But the humans fought differently. They did not meet the Empire's lines with lines of their own. They fought in shadows, in ruins, in shattered forests. They turned every canyon into a kill zone, every cave into a fortress. Imperial commanders reported the same phrase again and again: they won't retreat. A Threxian captain described the horror of seeing a single human soldier, mortally wounded, crawling forward to take out an armored walker with a satchel charge, laughing even as he died. Another squad reported that captured humans would escape within hours, using improvised tools made from scraps of metal and even their own chains. Imperial soldiers began to whisper a forbidden word: Demons. The breaking point back in orbit, the tide had turned. What was meant to be a demonstration of Imperial power had become a nightmare. Half the fleet was gone. The other half was bleeding. And still the humans came, reckless and unyielding. Admiral Carthos stared at the chaos. His tactical officers pleaded for retreat. His pride screamed for victory. But his eyes could not look away from the impossible truth. This wasn't the main human fleet. Sensor readings confirmed it. These ships bore serials from frontier colonies, not Earth. Crews were hastily trained militias, volunteers, veterans cobbled together from shattered defenses. And yet, they fought like legends. Carthos whispered, almost in awe, "If these are their scraps, then what is their fleet?" Revelation, on the ISS Resolute, Commodore Vance stood over the holodisplay showing wrecks of Imperial ships drifting lifeless. Her own fleet was battered, half destroyed, but victorious. Her comm officer turned. "Ma'am, Imperial Command is broadcasting demands for surrender. They think this is the human fleet." Vance laughed, a sound sharp and fierce. "Then let's tell them the truth." She opened a wide band channel transmitting across the entire sector. Her face, bloodied but unbowed, filled every Imperial display. "This is Commodore Vance of the Human Defense Militia. We thank you for this battle. It was good practice. But let me make something clear." She leaned forward, eyes burning with defiance. "We are not the main human fleet. Across the void, silence. Our real fleet, the veterans of Earth, the carriers of Mars, the dreadnoughts of Titan, they haven't even arrived yet." The message cut out, and across the Empire, a shudder ran through every heart. Aftermath, the Imperial Senate convened an emergency session. Some demanded escalation, others urged caution. None could forget the image of that human Commodore, standing unbroken against impossible odds. For the first time in 10,000 years, the Empire felt fear, and out among the stars, humanity prepared, because the main fleet was indeed on its way, and when it arrived, the galaxy would never be the same.